Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing this Valentine's Day look, which is pretty simple. Honestly, it's just a neon liner, and I only needed a few things, which I'm sure many of you guys have. Maybe just not the actual neon shade, but you can definitely pick it up from I'm sure a lot of companies sell neon shades, but I'll put the one that I'm using down in the description box. So yeah, if you guys want to learn how to get this look, then please just keep on watching. Alright guys, so we're going to just go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm going to show you the things I used on this eye, and then we're going to go ahead and get into this eye. So the first thing I did was, obviously I did my brows off camera, and this entire side of the face is already done because I wanted to show you what it would look like as a final result. So on this side, I did do my brows, and this side. I did do my brows, and I already put my Tarte Shape Tape concealer onto my lid, and I blended it out. And then the shade that I just used to set the concealer is the shade from this Flamingo palette, which is by Violet Voss. And I used the shade Sand, which looks like this. Ooh, a little plastic fell out. This little shade right, not little, they're not even little, they're pretty big, but this shade right here, which is Sand, which is honestly like super good for setting your concealer if you're a person who does that. I actually normally don't set my concealer unless that's the shade that I'm gonna go in with, but I normally just pick up whatever shade I'm gonna start with. So I pretty much start with wet concealer. So yeah, so I use Sand, and then I use the Morphe. Wow, I was looking for it this whole time and it's sitting right in front of me. Anyways, I use the Morphe M504 brush, which is a large fluffy brush, because I honestly just tapped it into the sand and I put it on my entire lid area, like literally just, there's no specific way, I just set it all the way through. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is take my lovely brush that I adore so much, which is this, I don't know, I got this from Michael's, but it's just a flat brush that I usually use to clean up the bottom of my brows, but it's going to help me, I guess, what do I want to say, outline my liner? Yes, outline my liner. Something fell. So because my concealer is already set on this eye, I'm going to re-wet it on just the liner part, because like I'm telling you, when your concealer is still wet and you go in with whatever pigment you want to, it's going to look the most pigmented and extremely bright. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this brush and the Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm going to slightly tap it into the neck of the stick, I guess. And then I am going to start making a liner motion. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I kind of like already have the wing outlined. Let me zoom you guys in. So I'm going little by little, that way I don't mess up. If it makes it any easier, you guys can always like tap it into that motion, like instead of rubbing it. Sometimes I'll do both. It's just, obviously rubbing is a little bit faster, but if you want your line to be more precise, then obviously you want to tap. Okay, so now that the concealer is still wet, I'm going to be going in with this angled brush, which, oh my god, I almost dropped my open concealer, and that would have not been cool. So I'm going to first close my concealer, and then I'm going to go in with this angled brush. I got these off a website, but you guys can look these, or honestly any angled brush you have. I'm sure Morphe sells some. And it also has like another flat side. But anyways, so I'm going to go in with the angled brush because it's going to really help you get right into the wet concealer. And then I'm going to be going in with this neon pink eyeshadow It looks pretty dull there. I don't know why, but it is super bright. Why do I always lose my train of thought? Oh, I was gonna say I will put their @ below. They're a smaller company and I really love these pigments. They're so bright. Like the camera honestly is not picking up the brightness of these shadows. So after I get the angled brush, I'm going to go in with this neon eyeshadow, which I will leave their Instagram down below in the description box. I honestly love these pigments. They're super bright. The camera doesn't pick up the justice of this pink. Honestly, it does not look like that at all. It looks more like this, but even brighter. It's a very neon pink. But anyways, before my concealer fully dries, I'm going to go in with that angled brush, and then I'm going to start dabbing on the neon pink onto the wet liner. And honestly, it takes a lot of work if you want the most pigment out of this eyeshadow, because if you're just gonna keep rubbing, it's just gonna end up fading out your color. So don't worry also if you do mess up. Get more on the bottom than on the top, if that makes sense, because you can always clean up the bottom part with concealer. On the top you can as well, but you know, it's a little bit harder because you got to go from the top. Alright, so I'm done for right now. And so what I'm going to do next is go in with that same brush that I found at Michael's, and I'm going to go back into the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and clean up the bottom here. So before I actually do that, I am going to take Q-tips, which you can find at any store practically. And then I am going to use my Garnier Skin Active, I never know how to say this thing, but this water. And then I'm going to just put a little bit into my hand. And then obviously put the Q-tips in. And then the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to clean up the fallout that you guys see here. Okay. As soon as this thing focuses. Thank you so much. So now that I clean that up, I am going to do what I said with the concealer. Meanwhile, my mascara dries. I'm going to do the rest of my face. So I'm going to be showing you the products that I used. So the first thing I'm going to be showing you is my foundation, which is the LA Girl Pro Coverage High Definition Longwear Illuminating Foundation, which is a freaking mouthful. And I am the shade Soft Honey. And I'm going to be taking this no-name brush. I'm sorry, a lot of my brushes are no-name. When I find a brush that I might like or might use, I honestly just pick it up. So... but it's like I guess a kabuki brush, and I'm just put some on here. I'm just gonna put some on here, and then I'm going to start working it into the face. I feel like it looks darker right now that I'm actually putting it on than how it actually looks like after it sits, I guess. And also, ladies, please do not forget to blend down to your neck, because you don't want to be that girl that looks like you got a face mask on, because that is not cute. Alright, so now that I'm done with my foundation, I'm going to be going in with my concealer and my contour. So the concealer, obviously I actually use two, so it's not obviously, but the reason why I use two is because I like to use one more of my, I wouldn't say skin tone, but like, yeah, I guess cover up down there with the skin tone. It's just the shade from LA Girl. Actually, it's not LA Girl. I didn't use LA Girl today. I used my NYX one. The NYX one I use is the HD Studio Photogenic concealer, and this is in the shade 5, because this is my holy grail, which I will be putting on in a second. So I'm just going to blend out that concealer. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Tarte Shape Tape as well. Why do I got concealer on my hand? This one honestly is pretty bright for me, but it gets the job done like really well. It's really full coverage, so if you have bad bags or under eyes, whatever, you will actually really like this foundation. Honestly, using your right hand and holding something with your left sucks because I feel like the mirror's like, freak. Hit your forehead and chin, ladies. All right, so I'm not gonna set that just yet because I actually like to do my contour at the same time and then go back in to the concealer. So now I am going to be using the LA Girl one, and this is in the shade Toffee. And this is their Pro Concealer HD one as well. And then I'm just going to put this on my cheeks and my forehead and my chin area. And then I'm going to go in back with my little sponge and work it in.
You want to do this kind of quickly because this concealer does dry pretty fast. But honestly, I love it. It's so good.
Sorry, it's hard to see this side. Alrighty. Alright, so now that my contour is done, I'm going to go back in and just make sure I don't have any creases in my concealer. And then now I am going to be setting that with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. Alright, so meanwhile that bakes, I'm going to do the waterline. So the there's only 2 products I use, and one you already used on the liners. So, and by the way, if you don't want to purchase the neon powder from this company, you can always purchase it from another company if you know any other company that sells neon pigments. So I'm going to be taking my NYX Jumbo Pencil, and this is in the shade Milk. I'm going to go ahead and put it into my waterline area. I always get some inside of my contact and I have no idea why. All you're gonna do is run this in your waterline, and then meanwhile that pigment is still kind of wet, you're gonna take the angled brush again, dip it back into that neon pigment, and then run it in, not in, but on top of that white Jumbo NYX liner. Great. So now that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put my lashes on, and then I will be right back. So I went ahead and finished the look by putting on the other eyelash, and the eyelashes that I used are from Bombshell Cosmetics or Cosmeticas. I'll also put their in the description box, and I believe these are in the style Vicious, which Cardi B did use in her I Like It Like That video. And I also have a discount code with them, so I'll also be leaving that down below with their social media. And then so the next thing I'm going to do is use my e.l.f. blurring brush, which is I don't really know what they call these actually. And then I'm going to be setting my contour now with my NYC Sunny Bronzer. I swear I've used this thing for so long now, like it's practically worn out. I'm hitting pan. I don't even know if they sell this anymore, honestly. Great. So now that I'm done setting this, I'm going to be going in with my, what brush? Wet n Wild. My Wet n Wild large fluffy brush for my blush. And it just looks like this. And then I'm going to be going in with my Mika Beauty blush, which is in the shade Desert Dusk, and I really like this color on me. It's like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. It's just very warm, and I do have a warmer skin tone, so I love it. And then once I'm done with the blush, I'm going to be going in with the highlighting process, which y'all already know what's my favorite. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M310 fan brush. And today I'm actually going to be using the Nicole Guerrero collab with Anastasia. And the reason why I'm taking this one today is because it has 6 different shades. And so I'm going to just be dipping it in all the top 3 because they're the most pink. So the only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have a mirror. But it's okay, I'll just use a separate one. Then I'm also going to be doing that on the Cupid's bow and the chin. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to be doing the, what is this called? The inner corner. So I have this brush which is by Bare Minerals, and it's just, I don't know, I've always used it for my highlighter, honestly. And I'm actually going to be going back into the Violet Voss palette for the shade in the inside. So the shade I'm going to be taking is this bright pink one up here, which is the shade Donut. And I'm going to be putting it into the inner corner. Alright, so now that I am done with the inner corner as well, why is my hair so messy? Now that I'm done with the inner corner, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this look by adding the lips, and I will be right back. So I went ahead and finished up my lips off camera, and I'm just going to be showing you what I used. So I used the NYX lip pencil in the shade Mahogany, and then I ended up using a ColourPop liquid lipstick, and it's a mini. Unfortunately, I do not know the name of it. It has been completely worn out, and so has the word ColourPop, so I'm sorry, but you can use pretty much any pink. This is what it looks like, or you can use any pink that you have, or even a nude if you don't want to go pink because you feel like the eyes are already too much. It's honestly just your choice. And then the last thing I used was a lip gloss topper, and this is just a clear lip gloss. It has no name on it. I don't even know where or how I got it, but you can just use any clear lip gloss. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this Valentine's Day tutorial, and that it was short and sweet, and hopefully a pop of color isn't too much for you guys. But yeah, I will leave everything down in the description box, and if you guys have any comments or questions, you already know what to do. Leave them in the comments below, and until next time, I will see you guys on my channel. Bye!